Hi. Hallo zusammen. I think I should be live. Man, I really have to get used to this again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a little late. Not really typical German, but typically German. But anyway, I tried. I gave my very best. But I think I should be live now, and you should be able to see and hear me. That's great. Awesome. And I'm really looking forward to what you have to say. Because who is there? Andreas Inobelarus Moven 5000. I totally butchered that, but I'm really sorry. Andreas, hi. Thanks for tuning in. And Carl Cuball, hi. Hi, Carl. How are you guys doing? And everyone else, of course, who might also want to join. It's been a while. I haven't really streamed in a long time. Gonna turn the music down a little bit. Hopefully it's not too low in the mix now, but yeah, should not overpower. So yeah. Good to be back again, I guess. Cookies Games 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, 3. The very German way of saying it, I don't know. Hast du jemals einen Krampus gesehen, weil du Deutscher bist oder aus einer Kriegerregion kommst, in der es eigentlich keinen Krampus gibt? Aus einer Kriegerregion? Was meinst du mit einer Kriegerregion? Also, just for the record, questions that are asked in German, I will also answer in German, of course, you know. Also, or do I have some... Oh, I have an automatically translating thing in here, right? No, I don't want to have that. Can I... Or do I? Wait, is that a new feature? I'm sorry, I'm gonna answer to your question in a sec. Is YouTube actually translating comments in the chat? Live? Well. You have it on. Okay, well, I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna try to answer in German anyway. So. Nein, ich habe tatsächlich noch keinen Krampus gesehen. Das ist tatsächlich auch etwas, was, glaube ich, eher so in Süddeutschland häufig vorkommt. Also in Bayern zum Beispiel. Ich meine, mich zu erinnern, dass das vor allem in dem Bundesland schon häufiger vorkommt oder üblicher ist. Aber da, wo ich herkomme, aus Nordrhein-Westfalen, da ist das nicht so wirklich bekannt, würde ich sagen. Es ist jetzt nicht so wirklich eine Tradition, die man feiert oder die man kennt. Frage nach Krampus ist auf Englisch. Okay, I'm really sorry, guys. There seems to be, like in my chat at least, there's like an automatic translation type of thing going on, which translates your comments to German, which makes me think that you actually asked in German, which is not the case. I don't know how to disable that, because I would like to disable that, to be honest. How can I do that? Does anyone know how to disable that by chance, you know? Wait. Man. I haven't streamed in such a long time. I didn't even know that feature. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, well. In that case, I'm gonna try to answer things in English. Because I can't be sure which comment is in English and which is not, so... Really strange. I'm really sorry. Anyway. Let's see. How are you doing, guys? I hope you're gonna have a happy Easter. Frohe Ostern, as we say in Germany. Frohe Ostern. Happy Easter. And yeah. I mean, I guess in Germany it's not too much different to to the way you may celebrate it in, let's say, the UK or the US. We also talk about the bunny, der Osterhase, the Easter bunny. We also enjoy eating some eggs, yeah. In fact, I just did a few hours ago at my parents' place. Senfeier we had, mustard eggs with potatoes, really, really tasty. In fact, it's a dish that we don't really eat too often, but it's really, really cool. Really, really cool. Yes. So, and we also, of course, have the ritual, the tradition, at least when you're facing, like, when you have to deal with, like, little children, for instance, or like within family life with little children, you definitely commonly hide eggs in the garden, for instance, or in the flat, around you, so that the children can look for them. And it's usually, I mean, it can be real eggs, of course, painted eggs in that sense, also really typical, or chocolate eggs, of course, both really tasty. So yeah. Bear with me, guys, a little second, please, because I try to find a way to disable the automatic translation type of thing. Hope I can do that somehow. Stream-Einstellungen. Der Titel. I see quite a few settings, but none that I really need, to be honest. I mean, if I don't find it, it's alright for this stream. I'm gonna try to look up a way to get rid of that. I'm sorry. Anyway, I didn't know. Automatische Untertitel sind für Englisch aktiviert, werden nicht korrekt transkribiert. Ich will aber nicht... Nee. Oh, I see. Okay. I think I'm seeing the setting in my backend here, but apparently I can't change it while I'm live. So, okay. I'm just gonna have to live with this for the stream. Anyway, don't you worry. I will catch up with your comments. First of all, thank you very much for tuning in, of course, because I mean, I haven't really streamed in a while, and yeah, it makes me really happy to see quite a few people here. Feel free to tell me if this time of day, like doing a stream at this time of day, works for you, works better for you compared to my previous streaming times, which were before this, like an hour before maybe, or 2 hours or 3 hours before. 10 p.m. CEST, so that I can adjust to that maybe for potential future streams. So let's see. Michael Merrick 1123. Once again, of course, hi. First of all, didn't want to miss you. Thanks for tuning in, of course, Mike. Much appreciated. Carl Herring, by the way, hi, also to you. And he's asking, hi Dave, wie läuft's bei dir? How are you doing? And generally speaking, I can say I'm doing really well. I can't complain. You know, I'm really happy. I'm really looking forward to quite a few things this year that, you know, that I hope are gonna be awesome. Concerts, you know, that kind of stuff, and doing stuff with friends and with family and, you know, the like. That kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to those things. And yeah, apart from that, I'm happy. I'm really happy. I hope you are too, of course. Andreas says, Ich bin Kanadier. I am Canadian. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Every time I hear about Canada these days, I have to think of Joni Mitchell, because I just love listening to her music. And of course, she also has a song where she sings, or not just one, multiple songs where she sings about Canada. So, because she's from there. And you know, Lorena McKennitt, you know, the great musicians, great people from Canada. So, yeah. I really have to go there at some point, I guess. Let's see. Okay, Cookies Game asks, can you respond again to my Krampus question? Because, you know, I couldn't really understand you because you were speaking in German. Of course I can. So, the short of it is, it's not like a Germany type of thing in total. You know, I guess many people may have heard of that in Germany, but it's not a typical tradition or something you would celebrate outside of, I guess, southern Germany, especially Bavaria, where it's most common. But, you know, for instance, in northern Germany, Schleswig-Holstein, the really northern German state, for instance, I don't think Krampus is a thing there. So, yeah. Once again, it's something that many people associate with Germany, of course, you know, like a German tradition, or the Oktoberfest being another one. Funny enough, that also is pretty much limited to Bavaria. You know, it takes place in Munich, München, in that city, and you may celebrate it, you know, with your friends in like little friend circles throughout Germany. But the actual celebration of the original, the OG Oktoberfest, takes place in Munich. And in Bavaria only, not in other German states. So, officially. I mean, there may also be places like cities or towns that will do their own Oktoberfests, like really small ones. But yeah, it's originally from Bavaria. So that's that. I guess it's similar to if you were to say like all of the USA is like Hollywood, for instance, or, you know, like really movie stars and Los Angeles and, you know, this and that. But that's just one facet of the USA. It's not the USA, right? So it's pretty much similar to that, you could say. Donald Duck! B1R! Or bone. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think I see what you did. Yeah, okay. Yeah. They say, ich finde deinen Kanal sehr informativ. I find your channel very informative. Thank you very much for saying that. Much appreciated. I wrote it in German, you can answer auf Deutsch. Okay. Donald Duck, they say, ich bin jetzt 39 Jahre alt und ich bin in Nürnberg geboren. Für die meiste Zeit meines Lebens habe ich in den USA gewohnt. Mein Deutsch ist noch nicht perfekt, obwohl meine Mutter mir Deutsch beigebracht hat. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, you know, but that's pretty much what they said. So, or you wanted me to answer in German, of course. Cool. Sehr, sehr, sehr cool. In Nürnberg war ich tatsächlich auch noch nicht. Das ist ja auch in Bayern, Bavaria. Und Ja, sehr, sehr spannend. Ich kann mir das gar nicht vorstellen, wie das ist, wenn man in zwei verschiedenen Ländern lebt. Also in Deutschland und dann in den USA oder umgekehrt. Das stelle ich mir sehr spannend vor. Und vor allem, wie das ist, wenn man zweisprachig aufwächst. Also mit Englisch und Deutsch zum Beispiel. Und dass beides so die Muttersprache ist. Weil das kenne ich natürlich auch nicht. Ich bin nur mit Deutsch aufgewachsen und habe Englisch erst in der Schule gelernt. So yeah, I basically said that, I find it interesting, first of all, Nuremberg is Nuremberg, which I've never been to yet, which is also located in Bavaria. And I basically said that it's interesting for me as someone who hasn't grown up in two different countries, how that, or what that is like in general, the two different cultures and how they clash or, cooperate, and what's similar, what's different. And also what's really fascinating to me, and what has always been fascinating to me, really, is what it's like to grow up with two mother tongues, two native languages that you learn side by side, basically, like English and German, for instance. Because I've only grown up with German being my mother tongue, of course, and it was only like a few years later that I started learning English in school. So, like, for instance, I wonder, people that grew up multi-linguistically, is that a term? I don't know. With multiple languages. In which language do they dream? Like, do they still have a primary language? Or is like, do they have like two primary languages, so there's no distinction really, cognitively? I don't know. Alanis Morissette is also from Canada, and Nickelback is also from Canada, and Devin Townsend is also from Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and who else? Bryan Adams, right? I think Bryan Adams is from Canada. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum. 3 Days Grace, I think, are from Canada. Right? Yeah. I'm certainly missing a few of the bands or countries that I'm usually listening to. But yeah. Andreas says, I do like Hungarian wine. I've never drunk. I never drank Hungarian wine. I don't think. I don't know what it tastes like. I primarily know German wine or French wine, but I'm not a wine connoisseur. Like, I like wine, but I'm not the biggest expert when it comes to those things. But yeah, I would totally try Hungarian wine if the opportunity arises. So, Andreas also says, mein Vater ist auch teilweise Holländer. My father is also partially Dutch. Interesting. It's really a culture clash. Okay, Carl. Rush, yeah, how could I forget about Rush? They actually played with their new German drummer, Annika, a few days ago, like for the first time at the Juno Awards, I think. So, and she's from Germany. Really cool. And the thing is, I thought you wrote a name like Eileen, but Eilen is a German form of to rush, Eilen. And he basically, YouTube basically translated rush to German. Which, yeah. Oh, okay, Donald Duck has now moved back to Germany. Awesome. Welcome back. Hope you're gonna have a great time here. Also, B1R wasn't a play on words, just a random YouTube generation, but now I cannot unsee it. So thank you for that. I was totally, I'm sorry, like I totally thought you did that on purpose, which would also have been funny as hell. So, but it works well. Possibly my father is part Uzbek. Uzbekistan, I think it is in English, right? Yeah. That's hilarious, yeah, right? I mean, it totally crashes with my brain to see all the comments getting translated to German. And I have to make sure that for the next stream, I have to disable that feature. I really have to, because otherwise my brain is gonna get mush, like, it's but it's not your fault, of course. Yeah. So I hope you had a great start into the year so far. You know, first few months were great. Like I said, I can't complain. I actually went to see a few bands already. Like, as you know, or as you may know, if you followed my channel and my podcast, my German podcast, I love going to concerts, you know, and I actually went to 3-ish, with the biggest one being one of my favorites, Hans Zimmer. I saw him live just like 2 weeks ago, 2-ish, like almost 3 weeks ago in Dortmund. And it was incredible. In fact, I'm working on a new video about him, and it's taking a little while still. It's not done yet. Maybe I might be able to finish it for next week's release, but I don't know yet. We'll see. But I was totally blown away by that show. That was awesome. If you ever get the chance to see Hans Zimmer live, do yourself a favor and go see him live. It's awesome. Really, really cool. Mm-hmm. Did you get to see Jethro Tull on their recent tour in Germany? No, Carl. No, in fact, I didn't yet. Maybe. I mean, I think that it's still going on. It's not planned yet, so we'll see. But it's with, you know, with Jethro Tull, it's a little strange. Like it's a bit difficult for me, because on the one hand, I would always like to see them play live, because as musicians they are great and their songs are great. But sadly, Ian Anderson, the singer, his voice is just shot for singing. That doesn't mean, you know, the most recent album that they put out last year, Curious Ruminant, is awesome, I think, and like a lot of acoustic elements again and folky stuff, and I love it. But when it comes to live shows, it's a bit difficult. That doesn't say that I'm not gonna see them live again ever, but yeah, not planned yet. But I'm gonna go seeing the Foo Fighters live in Berlin, for instance, and Carnival, an Australian progressive rock, progressive metal band that just put out a new album in early February, I think it was, in Versus, which is awesome. Love it. And I haven't seen them live yet, so I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I guess there's gonna be more shows coming up as well. Thoughts on Electric Hallboy? Well, Donald, I really like them. I'm not the biggest expert when it comes to them. Like, I'm not a pro when it comes to naming each of their songs, for instance, and knowing them by heart, but I like them. And in fact, if you want to listen or watch, I have reacted to their most recent album, Techno, right? Yeah. Here on the channel. And I also translated a few words that are related to each of the songs. So if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. It's basically a music reaction meets German lesson type of video. And the way I did it is I counted in to each song when I would hit the play button so that you can hit the play button simultaneously, because the problem is I can't really play the music in the video because otherwise there's a high chance that it may get blocked, or demonetized and whatnot. So unfortunately I couldn't include the music, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this may be something right up your alley, so feel free to watch that. Just type in like definitely German Electric Callboy. And in addition to that, I also made like 2 or 3 videos about Hurricane, and we got the moves. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah. True, Carl. Yeah, good point. He said Spotify has a jam feature where you can start a listening party maybe. Yeah, I mean, if I were to do another music reaction meets German lesson type of video again, like that, I may have to think of the, like, setting up the listening party for that. That's a good point, Carl. Gonna write that down for later. So maybe I will remember. Good idea. Yeah, the last time that I did like music reaction type of thing, I don't think that feature existed yet, so I couldn't use it, sadly. All right. So what else can I tell you? Well, gaming-wise, if you're interested in gaming, in German gaming, for that matter, first of all, I'm doing streams there regularly, like each Tuesday and Thursday at around 7 p.m. CEST, German time that is, Central European Summertime, and I'm recording my Let's Plays live on stream with you guys. It's German only though, so I'm not gonna be speaking English there, just as a heads up. But right now, I'm still playing Uncharted 4, which is awesome. I love the Uncharted series. Great games. Playing them for the first time. Highly recommend it. And yeah, and then I'm uploading the recorded material to my German gaming channel, Dave Durden TV. If you want to check that out, you can do so. And of course, something that I also addressed earlier in the stream a few minutes ago, I also run a German podcast. Primarily German podcast. There may be English episodes in the future. I haven't really done an English episode yet, but yeah, it's primarily like a German podcast thing for you guys, for German speakers, fellow Germans, and also for you guys, German language learners, or people that are just interested in the German language and culture, for that matter. So yeah, it's the definitely German podcast. And I also have a dedicated YouTube channel for that one. So if you want to subscribe and check that out, support me that way, also much appreciated, of course. Always fun to do podcasts. The latest episode also focuses on a game, which is Resident Evil Requiem, the ninth part of Resident Evil Requiem, which came out in like late February, I think. Awesome game. And I basically gave a little rundown of that. Yeah. Thank you very much, Donald, for tuning in, and sleep well. Hope to see you in the next stream as well. Awesome. Okay. By the way, right before I wanted to start the stream, I was a bit like surprised and worried in a way because I heard a lot of siren sounds going on, like fire brigade going off and like quite a few cars, fire brigade cars. Yeah, just in I don't think it's like that far away where they actually drove. I don't know. I hope no one got hurt and everything's fine, but yeah. That really... Because, you know, the sirens didn't stop for like 5 minutes straight, so there were a lot of cars like going to the same place, I think, and was spooky. Speaking of wine, do you celebrate May Fest or May party celebration in the north? Well, I'm not in the north technically. I'm in the west. I'm in West Germany, or Western Germany, in North Rhine-Westphalia, which is like in the middle west, you could say, the most Western German state, and the biggest one in terms of population. 18 million people living here, approximately, and I mean, it's not really a thing. Like, broadly speaking, I don't think. It may be more common in northern Germany, though. But I'm no expert on that. What we do like to do, May 1st is a holiday in Germany. Tag der Arbeit. It's the day... Ironically speaking, it's called the day of work, you know. Tag der Arbeit, but it's a holiday, so you don't have to work. And what we like to do is, you know, maybe meeting up with friends and going out for like a walk or like hiking even, drinking a little bit and, you know, just having fun, enjoying themselves, you know, that kind of stuff, which is really typical for May 1st, or, you know, there are some protest marches here and there for better working conditions, that kind of stuff. So that is typical for May the 1st. So, yeah. Did you see Project Hail Mary? No. In fact, I don't know what you're talking about. Carl. It sounds like something that Ghost would do. Like the band Ghost. Project Hail Mary? Is it related to Ghost? By chance? I mean, I will... They just released a new album last year, which is awesome again. I love Ghost. Also a band that I highly recommend seeing them live at some point if you can and if you like them. Great live band. They really put on a great high production value show. And they just released a new album last year. And yeah. Carl Cueball says it's a movie with Ryan Gosling in space. Never heard of that. I mean, I know Ryan Gosling and I know space and I know movies, but I don't. I've never heard of Project Hail Mary. Is it like a brand new one? Let me check real quick. Maybe I have seen some like images. Project Hail Mary. Why is it called Project Hail Mary though? Well, it has great reviews though. Like IMDb 8.4 out of 10. Interesting. This is sci-fi. Okay. Sci-fi adventure. Interesting. Oh, okay, it's based on a book apparently from 2021, so it's really like a new story overall. Wow. Okay, the teaser for that storyline reads really, really, really thought-provoking. It's really, really cool. Okay. I have to look that up and give that a go, that movie. And, you know, the sad thing is, usually speaking, I really enjoy going to the movies. You know, going to the cinema, that is. Das Kino in German. And I've loved doing that for many years, but the last few months, or even like last year as a whole, there really wasn't like a single movie that really made me want to go to the movies. Which might be because not too many like big blockbuster films that I took notice of like really came out. Or maybe it was me not taking notice of them and missing them. But, you know, every time I go past like a movie theater in my place here and I look at the chart, what's running there, like it's every single time basically I think like, haven't heard of that, don't know what that is. Or, I know of that one, but does it make me want to go to see it in the movie theater? No. And that may change though this year, because there's gonna be a new Christopher Nolan movie, The Odyssey, and I'm really looking forward to that. And in fact, it may also be my very first IMAX experience, which is like a movie, like a video type of format in simple words. And in order to really enjoy or to get the full IMAX experience, you have to go to certain movie theaters that are capable of showing IMAX. Not every theater, like movie theater, is capable of doing that. So there's one a few cities away. So a few cities, well, more or less. And I'm thinking of going to see the movie in that one. I'm really looking forward to that. The last Christopher Nolan movie that came out, Oppenheimer, I also watched that in a really special German movie theater in July of 2023, which was in Essen, the city of Essen, the Lichtburg, the Light Castle, translated literally. And it's a really, really old-fashioned, like old, vintage movie theater. I think, in fact, it's the biggest one in Germany. And it's really beautiful. Great atmosphere there. And yeah, also highly recommend it. I also made a video about that. Now that I think about it, my tongue is already asleep, I think. Yeah. So I'm finally, like for the first time in months, I may be able to see a great movie again in the movie theater, at the movies, in the cinema. Why is there like a few different types of phrases to say that? Like, you know, going to the movies, to the cinema. And anyway, in Germany we would just say, wir gehen ins Kino. Wir gehen, we go. Ins, which is like a contraction of in and das. Ins. In das Kino. We go to the movies, meaning to the cinema, to the movie theater. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I hope it's gonna be a great movie. But you know, so far, I haven't really been disappointed by any Nolan movie yet. There are better ones, and there are ones that are also awesome, but maybe a little less awesome in totality, if I can judge that, you know. But overall, he has a great oeuvre, like a great body of work so far. And yeah, really looking forward to that. From what I've heard, though, I have to take some time in order to watch it fully because it's gonna be like 3 hours or like pretty much similar to Oppenheimer, which was also like almost exactly 3 hours, I think. And not that I'm against that, but sitting there in the same position for like 3 hours, that can be a little bit exhausting. But yeah, I guess especially when you're older. And I'm not the youngest anymore either, so. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to that. Don't want to complain. Gonna be great, I think. Yeah. But there are so many things that I haven't really caught up with yet. Newish ones as well. Including Stranger Things, the last season. I haven't really watched that yet. What else? Let's see. I mean, also gaming-wise, Crimson Desert, or this, what's The Fate of Avalon? The newish game. I also want to check that out. In terms of, you know, like watching playthroughs of that. What else? Oh, the Peaky Blinders movie. Yeah, but I mean, that just came out a few days ago, so. Bring a seat cushion. Yeah, I mean, good idea. Good idea. I guess I can bring one with me when I go to the movies. I don't think they have anything against that, really. Like, good idea. Yeah. So I have a lot of things to catch up with. So yeah, but I'm really looking forward to that. And at one point, I'm gonna get there. And also, you know, music-wise, last year was so crazy in a good way because I listened to so many things. Like my annual Spotify playlist for music, like just filled and filled and filled, and you know, there was no stopping. And I think from what I can, you know, assume from the first almost like 4 months of the year so far, this year will be similar. You know, with Alter Bridge, Schiller, which is a German electronic ambient music project, Textures, Megadeth, Soen, Joyce Manor, Pucifer, great album, Carnival in Versus, the one that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I guess one of my favorites so far of the year. Big Big Train, which is it like a British band? British prog rock band. Also like a really folky album. To a large degree reminding of, you know, Jethro Tull and the like. Woodcut is the name of the album by Big Big Train. Also really, really cool. The Butcher Sisters, yeah, also released a new album. Let's see, Carpenter Brut from France, also great. H-Blocks, which is pretty much like the German equivalent of Rage Against the Machine, I guess you could say, with a little bit of new metal in there. They also released a new album, which is also pretty cool. Pretty cool. Blackstone Cherry released an EP. The Gems. The Hirsch Effect, which is... The Hirsch Effect is like a really strange band. Not in a negative way, but it's it takes a while to get into them for me personally. Like, I don't mind their songs, but I could, yeah, it's very artsy music. I like it, but it's very artsy. And maybe to some degree it's also avant-garde, I guess. Lansdowne Don Broco released a new album, and yeah, there's gonna be much more. We're looking forward to everything that's coming out soon. Yeah. Joshua Burnside. Okay, never heard of him. Joshua Burnside. Let's see. Yeah, I like me some folk music. It's Not Going to Be Okay is the name of the album. I'm gonna check it out. Thank you very much for suggesting that. Never heard of him. Joshua Burnside. Interesting. Let me save that link real quick. Okay. All right. That's that. Carl says, I found so much good music through you. Thanks, Dave. Thank you very much for saying that. That's awesome. You know, I like telling people about music, of course, you know, because I love music. It's pretty much my biggest passion. And yeah, whenever someone finds out about new music through me, I mean, that's cool. And I also like to get to know or to learn about new bands and artists that I don't know about yet. So, always looking forward to that. In fact, there's like a really weird, I think they're also are they from Canada? Let me check real quick. I just found out about them the day before yesterday, I think. From Dave Grohl, by Foo Fighters, actually. He mentioned them in an interview. And they are really, I don't know what it is, but they are crazy. They're really crazy. But it's not too crazy that I think, you know, it's nothing that I would listen to. But it's nothing that I would listen to like each and every day, I don't think. I'm talking about Angine de Poitrine, I think. I don't know how to pronounce them. I think it's French. It's all French to me, huh? Angine de Poitrine. And they not only sound really interesting, like with microtonal music here and there, and they also look interesting. They have a really distinct look, also when they play live. I don't know what I honestly, I don't know what to call them, like genre-wise. They're all over the place. And I've only listened to one song by them yet. And they're about to release a new album, Volume 2, in... Or is it out yet? Or is it like an EP? I don't know. So that's a crazy band. That's a crazy project. Hast du schon mal Have you ever heard of Greta Van Fleet? Yes, they sound like Led Zeppelin. I like them. I like them. Greta Van Fleet. I mean, a lot of people give them shit because they listen like that. They sound a lot like Led Zeppelin. But I like them. I like them. I really, really enjoy them. And to be honest, you know, when there's a new band that really sounds like an old school band, like a classic band. In this case, you know, Greta Van Fleet sounding like Led Zeppelin quite a lot. Maybe not all the way through, but quite a lot. I'm always in the camp that is like, you know, it's cool that they openly give them credit, like show that they like Led Zeppelin, that they allow themselves to let them be inspired by the sound, if that makes sense. And also, the other thing is, at the end of the day, it can only be beneficial to young people because they may check out Led Zeppelin through Greta Van Fleet. So it's like a win-win situation. The old guys that don't want to listen to like this new band that sounds like Led Zeppelin, they don't have to listen to them. They just can live on with their lives, and that's it. And that's also fine. So you know, I don't see the problem really with that kind of thing. Whenever people go against that, like, you know, this band can't sound like that band that came before them, because honestly speaking, in my opinion, you can't really reinvent the wheel every single time. It's not possible. So, and even if something like Airborne is a great example of like an AC/DC sound-alike band, more or less. And they do a great job. They still have their own identity, and they even maybe add a little harder edge to their sound compared to AC/DC. So, but it's still like really, really similar. And it's cool. I love it. I love both of those bands, like AC/DC and Airborne. So I can't complain, you know. Yeah. By the way, I think Angine de Poitrine, they could be from Canada as well, because they apparently have a playlist de Quebec. So, let's see. Yeah, Quebec's major festivals, Jazz de Montreal. I think they are from Canada. Yeah, they also have a lot of, like, quite a few listeners from Ottawa, Montreal. Yeah. Okay. The Speaker from the Dead. Hi. Frohe Ostern. Happy Easter to you as well. Thanks for tuning in. Der Kreis schließt sich. Yes. Oh, I read the automatic translation. Full circle. Right. Things came full circle again with Canada. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is true. Very much so. Yeah, I may listen to more of their stuff. I mean, it's really, you have to be ready for it. But I like when musicians, like bands, are really, really creative. Even if I may not like the sound of the music, even if it may not resonate with me personally, I can still appreciate the creativity behind it. So, yeah. I would like to find out more about them, to be honest. They're really, really... They're like one of those bands that are like just really out there and special and not really graspable, you know. Is that a term? I don't know. Graspable? Yeah, anyway. You know what I mean. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna call it a day for today. And I hope you're about to have a great Easter weekend. Frohe Ostern, as we say in German. Once again. Frohe Ostern, Happy Easter. And also, I didn't even mention a single word of that. Okay, to end the stream, I need, and I want to say, thank you very much for 11 years. Because today is my 11th channel anniversary. Which was also one of the reasons why I wanted to stream, but in fact, I didn't really think about it. I didn't really think about it during the stream, funny enough. Because I was so, you know, in the conversation with you guys about different things that I forgot about that. So yeah, thank you very much for supporting the channel, whether it's for pretty much 11 years today, or just for one day, maybe even. It's all appreciated all the same, so thank you very much. Highly, highly appreciated. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next stream. I don't know when it's gonna be, because honestly speaking, like, for the time being, I think I'm not gonna stream monthly. I may mainly, like, primarily stream when there is, like, a special occasion going on, like Easter, maybe like today, or like a milestone event or something like that. I may also be doing spontaneous streams from the couch, maybe here and there, but yeah, I think that's gonna be the primary focus when it comes to streams for the foreseeable future. Because honestly speaking, it's much easier for me to do it that way. It gives me more time to work on videos instead and do other things here and there, you know, apart from doing that. So I still enjoy streaming, don't get me wrong. I just want to change the modus operandi, the MO a little bit for the time being. It may change again, I don't know. Yeah, that's that. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching. Definitely see you next time. Tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal. Bye bye.